I was watching Nick Cannon when he named his kids.
Yeah, that man.
He said, Nelly was like, he was drunk. He was drunk.
No, it's not the fact that he was drunk. It's like,
And then
you know, Nick Cannon.
One white girl made this joke. She said, so his kids is named after a country singer, dead actress, white actress. I was over here dying laughing.
Because they are. But, you know, I the thing about Nick, man, I give him a lot of credit. Don't get him wrong. He's been able to withstand an awful lot. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'll give him that. And he's still relatively young. He's making a buttload of money. He got shows. He got movies. He got everything that you would want to do. I always said that he's probably him and Steve. He's like the young version of Steve Harvey. Mm-hmm. But Nick Cannon was doing it before Steve Harvey was doing it. Like, before Steve became big, Nick was already big. But people don't give Nick credit because, you know what he is? He is the opposite of everybody else.
He still got the mentality of a kid. Like, not like he's grown and stuff, but, you know, like, young generation still rock with him.
Yeah, because he's kind of like, you know, he's older, but he's still got a young person's mentality. Yeah. That's where I'm a lot like him.
I give you that one.
But in the same conversation piece, people don't give him enough credit because he's not as hood as you would think he should be, considering his age, who he hangs with, who he runs with. You would think that, well, he should be hood, he should be this. He is not hood. If you want to know the definition of probably the Diet Coke hood, look at him.
I mean,
he's from San Diego.
Yeah, for San Diego. He picked the description, yeah, because, you know,
he runs with like, yeah. He was cool with like Suge, and he was cool with Snoop Dre. He was trying to do like a documentary on Suge and what. He was trying to do all this stuff. So it's not like he ain't running with real ones.
It's true,
but he ain't, like I said, he is not that person. But the one hood thing that he does is that he got baby mamas, plural. And some like I said, think about this. He got some baddies on his roster.
Yeah.
And then it's not like they're just on his roster like, yo, he didn't date them. He didn't baby them, which is different. Which the only part I don't understand is this. Like, look, you got all. First of all, you could have stayed married to Mariah and had as many kids as you want, and she probably would have ran with it. She got money, you got money. Y'all should have made that work. Yeah. But be it as it may, this dude got, 4 or 5 baby mamas? And he was like, any girl he with is like, you want a baby? Yeah, because they know they're getting taken care of because he got money like that. Which is crazy, because I just never thought that he would be that person.
Hey, money talks, people walk.
Nah,
so, in that discussion, Cal, I mean, you got to think about it too. If your brother's doing very well, you know, and, you know, he can just, you know, get away, I fit the description, like, I'm a bad boy, but I ain't a bad boy, but, you know, I still take care of mine, you know, you got to give him something.
Yeah, I'll give him the...
And, you know, and like you said, people don't give him enough credit for what he has accomplished, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like, you know, you had the Wild Man show, you have a lot of people got discovered because of the Wild Man show. I mean, look how he put Chico Bean, DC, Young Fly, Carlos
Miller. He put Cat Williams on the map. People forget that Cat Williams...
Charlie Murphy.
Cat Williams was good on the comedy circuit, but people didn't know who Cat Williams was until he hit there. D. Ray Davis is another one. They were on the circuit. They wasn't getting no run. Mm-hmm. Nick Cannon was like, I'm going to put you on. You know, even like Mikey Day, I know, white boy, he's on Saturday Night Live. He didn't get the Saturday Night Live for nothing.
And Pete Davis.
Pete Davis, another one who came from Wildin' Out to get there. You know, and that's why I said...
Did you watch his Peacock original?
Not yet.
It is good, though.
I heard it was
because he got Joe Pesci on there, and the dude who plays in Everybody Loves Raymond.
But I go there to say this. The point I was getting to was like, it wasn't really about him per se. It was more about the ladies who he was with.
Yeah.
It's like, they just became mothers out of, I ain't gonna say out of opportunity, but that's what it looks like. But think about it, because it's not the fact that it's like, well, let's date, let's do this, and maybe we'll consider having a baby. It's like, they basically created families in this whole little crazy blend of families and stuff on the strength of, he got the money, he could do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if I was the ladies, I don't know. And I know certain ladies, like I said, we're in a different day and age, apparently. Certain ladies, they're cool with that. But I don't know how that life would be when you got one baby dad and you got like 4 or 5 baby moms, 10 kids in total, from what it sounds like. And you're competing for time against these other moms. Because it's like, why doesn't he just choose just one of them? And they're all different in their own way.
And that's perspective in that game. Environment is you really can't.
No, he could.
I mean, he could.
He
yeah,
could. He's choosing not
to.
But the ladies are choosing to just purposely put themselves in that environment. And there's one girl. What's her name? Mia Trey. Now, she was dating who? She was dating
DC.
No, Johnny. No. She was dating a football player, high profile ball player, making good money, and then decided to just like, oh well, I'm gonna be with Nick Cannon. Really. That's because now you're pumping just because now you're not just doing it for the chance of being in a relationship. You're doing this, bringing a child into a world, being a mother. So you're kind of, I hate saying this, but it's like you're being a mom under the wrong pretenses. Because you're being a mom not for sake of.
Think about it. None like right now, none of them were side chicks. He just gave them opportunities.
Yeah, no, but ultimately they're all are side chicks.
I mean, if you want to use,
they all are side chicks.
Okay, we ain't gonna say side chicks. Me and you already know what they are.
No.
But and generally speaking,
they are side chicks.
At least he kept it 100 with them.
I mean, he did.
And that's why that's why.
But I always go to.
Think about it.
No, I get it. It's just
you got it like that.
No, I got it. But here's the problem. It's like would you put yourself in that? If you're a female, would you put yourself in that position? Not to just be in a relationship, but
about it.
But be a parent.
Because like that is in that popularity, just trying to get credit.
Yeah, but you don't. But see, but you have choice.
I know, but that's different conversation.
No, it's kind of is, but
like,
it's kind of a.
think about their status right now.
But you got a child in tow.
Yeah,
I
get where you coming from, and I totally agree with you when you bring a child in the mix.
Right.
That's a totally different ballgame.
This is where I say Mariah is probably different than the other girls because Mariah and Nick at the time were married.
Well, that's different though, because Mariah has suspended. I mean, she's been in the game so long. I mean,
it's not even that, but they were married at the time, so they made a decision based upon their marriage. Does that make sense?
Okay, so here goes.
But the other girls made a decision based upon opportunity. Here goes a $1 million question
on that. What stopped them from being married?
What stopped Mariah and him from being married, or the other girls and him?
Him and Mariah.
What really stopped their marriage was really one fundamental principle. Mariah is, for lack of a better term, and everybody knows it, she's a very controlled and controlling person. So what she wanted to do was to have him stop the enterprise and be home more, if that makes sense. But for him to be home more, he would have to stop the enterprise. What I mean by the enterprise is, remember, he's a host. The one with the Masked Singer. That's his show. Wildin' Out. That's his show. He's on Power 106. He's the host of that show. That's his money. So basically what she said was, we got enough money. Which is a legit conversation. Don't get it wrong. Because coming from her, that's a very legit thing. We have enough money. We're fine. You could not do these things and be home more with the kids. Very legit question, right? And considering how much money, and trust me, Mariah got bread. Probably it's equal amount of money as Nick does. Mm-hmm. Maybe more in certain respects. But you're telling a man who is used to trying to provide to not provide, which is a crazy conversation to have because you're telling a man. Because normally, most women say.
I get you.
Most women say.
You know what's so funny? That's what Remy Ma did with her dude when she asked him that question before she made him open that.
Yeah, because
when she found out she was gonna have a baby, like, how much do you love me? Like, really, really love me?
No, but
I get that where you coming from because. How many females
would tell you stop the enterprise?
Give you that opportunity to be like, hey, boo,
stop the enterprise. We got it. Stop the enterprise and hang out and just be a dad, which is crazy, by the way.
I would love that.
No, but I understand Nick's thing was like, I'm used to providing. I built this from scratch. It's hard for me to release this and be cool with it because it's something that I built from the bottom. And once you release it, you don't get it back. He can't leave wilding out and get it back.
Yeah.
You can't. It's like once you leave something, you don't get that opportunity to spin the block and get it back. But the crazy thing behind it is that was the real sticking point. Because Mariah was...
Wait, is it wrapped up? Yeah. I'll take one for later.
But Mariah was like, yo, I want you to slow down and spend more time with the kids and be there. I get it. I promise you. I really do.
Here's my
but I understand.
So let me say this right quick before we get started, though. And this is...
And this all ties into what we're going to talk about later.
And this is one of the things I tell certain females when they try to go that route. And this ain't particular about Nick because he is not that way. I mean, he is that way, but here's the thing. I tell, especially hood females, you cannot turn a street nigga into a house.
No, it's not even that.
It doesn't work.
No,
it's not both ways.
No.
I mean,
No.
Thank you for clarifying.
It goes like
it does go both ways. But I tell that I say that with the intent because so many people, both ways, yeah. They try, it never works.
No, here we go. I wasn't trying to go here.
I mean, no. I just use that as an example because I want certain people to understand.
A whole different topic.
No. I want to. And Todd, you're going to make me go here, but I'm going to go here.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to go here for a minute.
Go ahead, make your point.
People get into relationships with the mentality of potential and not what's actually there, what attracted them to
begin with. You mean awareness?
No. I mean, exactly. I mean potential.
Okay.
Meaning that you're going in there. So let's say you are looking at a girl, like, okay, I'm gonna try to be with a female. You're thinking she looks like this.
This conversation.
She looks a certain way. She'd be like, well, she may not look this way, but she's in the gym. So you're basing on the potential that she's working towards something, and you already trying to foresee what the end goal would be. Girls look at it like, well, he's working here right now, but he's got this going on. He's working on. You're basing on the.
Do that so fast?
You're basing on the potential of what could be versus what they actually are.
And that line you just said, I totally agree with you. That's just like my situation. They see, okay, he got a job, but I see him doing this and doing that. So, what is his shortcomings and his lifetime goals? That's one thing.
But see, they always ask that question. But here's the thing: when you are pursuing a relationship, I know people think of the potential, but you gotta think of what that person actually is. So if that person is naturally like work-oriented, driven-oriented, that's the things that you're attracted to already. Mm-hmm. You're attracted to the fact that this person is in the trenches working. This person is on the grind. Or with the female, you're attracted to, well, this lady does go to school. She does have a good job. She does look a certain way.
There was something Victor said one time, and it made it. It was a damn good point.
Right, but
something said it was like going like towards what Cam said, but it's something that had to do.
Right, but it's not the potential. It's
what you said.
You got to base it upon what actually is there first, and then you be like, okay, this is how this person is.
That's what most mistakes make, because people don't take the time.
Because you gotta understand, if you're attracted to that person, you're attracted to that person the way that they are right then and there. Then when you start building together, then you understand that, well, this person is doing this. Because a lot of times when they're working on stuff, people don't think that working on stuff could fail. Meaning that, ladies, I apologize ahead of time if I do decide to put this portion of the conversation up. You're looking at a female and they're a certain look. They may look a little frumpy, yada, yada, whatever. But you see that they're in the gym working. Okay?
So why does that necessarily have to be about the gym?
No. I mean, but a lot of guys think like
I feel
this.
What you're saying, though.
I'm just using that as an example.
I feel what you're saying.
They're potentially doing something. But let's say that you decide to, okay, well, let me pursue the relationship thinking about the potential of them getting you to a better look versus them already being at that look. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
So let's say they start working and then they get into a relationship and they start to fizzle out and they don't work out. But so now that person who's looking semi-frumpy becomes a little bit more frumpy because that's really who they are. They're in the gym trying to advertise a little bit, trying to give the facade of working out, but that's not really who they are. Yeah. They're really a house person who sits on the couch and plays video games all day. Not trying to be funny. I'm just giving you that. You're basing it on a potential. The thing is, when you said you can't change people, you really can't change nobody. Only a person could change themselves. Does that make sense? God has
and that's what most people forget about, because they so caught up of trying to impress.
God has to put it in you to change. Then you change, but you're not going to change because somebody else. Because once you change for somebody else,
nobody changes by someone else or on their own.
Right.
And you know what? That's not a bad thing, though. Sometimes because sometimes that can bring out that people awareness and people character, but at the same time, it's how you use it. Yeah. Because, like I said, for instance, okay, I put my heart out for this girl. I change my appearance, change my look, change the way I do for myself. And if it doesn't work out, hey, at least I took a risk, but now that sets me up for the next opportunity when it comes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people feel bad about it. Sometimes people can take it to perspectives.
One perspective would be what you just said. What did I learn from it?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't get the what do I learn from it when they're going through the initial heartbreak. So when they go through the initial heartbreak, it's like, why did I put myself through this to begin with?
I mean, yeah.
Then it goes into how a lot of people get now, which I believe is stupid, is accept me the way that I am. I'm going to be this way. This is me all day, every day.
And what is your take on that? How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? You got to always try to be progressing yourself along in life. And the people who are around you, friends, relationships, otherwise, you want to be better for the greater good. Goes back to what I've been saying. It's bigger than you. So if you want better, you got to put it upon yourself to be better first, and then let everybody come along for the ride with you. What are you going to be? You want to lead? You want to follow? Followers look for the person who's the leader, and they try to emulate them.
That's Christianity in a nutshell.
Right.
Well, not really, but what I mean by
that.
But
it is.
No. Explain that.
No, it
is.
It's literally.
Explain.
No, explain. Go ahead.
You're right, but he's right. Go.
As he said, we want to see who's leading. We want to follow him. Who's leading? The Lord Christ. And what does he command all those who are his?
Yeah.
Take up your cross and follow me.
Right.
Christians are to be lights in the world.
Right.
Right.
But see, the ones this is why I always tell people, and I say this all the time, the person who is a leader is not the person who has the title. It's the person who people rally around. You will know that. There's a lot of people who lead who don't have titles. They're not managers. They're not bosses. They're not boss chicks.
Again, look at Jesus.
Leaders.
His whole ministry on his life on Earth 2,000 years ago. He was not it. He was not an official teacher.
Yep.
You know, he was not an official, like, he had no scholarship, he had no teaching, he had no titles, nothing.
Right.
Except he had all authority.
That's the difference.
So, one thing before we get into
What's wrong?
Can you elaborate on the meaning of the word is bigger than you? Because most people don't understand what that whole perspective.
What do I mean by it's bigger? It means exactly what I just said, ladies and gentlemen. It is bigger than just your.
The reason why I ask you that because some people don't.
I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people don't understand. So if I need to say it for the people on the back, I will. It's bigger than you, and the reason why I say it's bigger than you is literally because you're not just living strictly for yourself. You could be single in your own house, doing your own thing, but you're not living just for yourself. Selfish people, and I know we're in a age where it's like it's all about me. I'm gonna be selfish. I'm gonna, do the selfish thing. People who act, look, respond, function selfishly will get very selfish results. Just because they may get a little something in the short term, meaning that, they may get a little bit of money, being selfish. But being selfish, you don't have nobody to enjoy that ride with. Does that make sense?
You just said it.
You don't have people to roll with. You don't have people to enjoy that run with. Whether that's in friendship or in relationship or literally in a combination of both. There's a lot of people who's been very selfish who was alienated from a lot of people. People really don't know about Steve Jobs, where he was one of the smartest dudes in the world. People rock with him from a business perspective, but from a personal perspective, he didn't really rock with nobody because he alienated so many people because it became more of a selfish thing, more so than a let me get better thing.
And I think that's one thing I'm working on, just for my own perspective. Is just like when I'm not gonna say when I make it big, I'm not gonna forget about the ones who who ride with me to everything. And I say this with compassion. Everybody who's been down with me from the thick and the thin, and I'll say this right. I'm not gonna forget about you guys.
It's all
because throughout and I can say it. So we all been through something, and the ones who was there, the ones who's not, that's just part of life. But the ones who has been there, and I don't care if they even just crack a smile at me, I always respect and admire that.
Even with people who I had problems with, it's not like I hate them. I don't harvest the hate. I don't harvest the resentment. Even if I be like, well, I was mad at that moment, so it be. But I know that it has to be bigger than just what I'm selfishly feeling. It has to be bigger than that.
Well,
but that's only because I know that for me to be a leader and for me to represent that I need to represent, it has to be bigger than me. I don't represent just myself. Even if we wasn't doing this, I still represent my two kids.
Well,
I still represent mom. I still represent my mom.
As you're supposed to.
No, I still represent my mama.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
That's
We're gonna get there momentarily. By the way, that's my responsibility to represent well. I am a reflection of the people who was before me. I'm a reflection of my grandmother who had passed away. I'm a reflection of my mom. I'm a reflection of my sister. I'm a reflection of my two kids and my cousins and my extended family. And even with my friends, I'm a reflection of the PVC Podcast Crew. I'm a reflection of cross-culture music. I'm a reflection of Holy Circle Gaming because that's who I am. So it has to be bigger than me.
It's just like,
because
your reflection.
what?
Oh, I was just trying.
I'm gonna add them in. But that's
okay. So when you say you, so get him one and give me one. So Victor's his reflection of.
It's the same thing with him. He's a reflection of his parents, of his friends, of us, of people.
Well, it's similar to the phrase "a product of your environment."
Yes.
Okay.
Similar, not exactly the same, but
so if you're in the hood, guess what?
you're a product of the hood.
You're a product of that. But if you represent that, If you are gang, this, guess what?
Sometimes it comes out diet.
Yeah. You're a reflection of that.
And
sometimes it may be the diet. And sometimes it may be the diet.
I want to try to laugh at
Yeah,
that.
sometimes you the diet Coke.
That is a fact and a good point. Like, okay, for me, I'm a reflection of my mom, my grandmother, my uncle, my brother, and, you know, people who are around me. I'm a reflection of when I train. I'm a reflection when, you know, when I set my goals. I'm a reflection to this table right here, because, like I said, I can go around and say, Press, VP, Sergeant at Arms. Us three work together. We trying to build something to even if when we're not here on this earth anymore, at least it can still go on.
Yeah, and I didn't care. And even then, I don't. This is why I don't even title it Press VP.
I just use it.
I know, I got it. But even for me, I don't even use that. You want to know why? I don't need the title. We just do what we do. I just reflect.
Above all, we are a reflection of our own convictions. What convicts us is what we reflect upon.
Yeah, and it goes, and I can say that because, you know, I'm not gonna speak at the one at this table and say, you know, everything in my life has been perfect, because it hasn't. You know, the struggle is real, but at the same time, we work on building our character even more positively, and that goes to what you just said.
But it goes to where we're going to tie into right now. It goes into how did I get to that point? My mom, single parent, is the one who kind of instilled that, because she is the one who has a similar mindset to what I have. You know, obviously, if I'm a reflection of her, how did I get some of that knowledge and learning? I got it in multiple different venues, but yeah, you would think that, well, yeah, you were born here, born in LA, born to Normandy. I lived there before. I know what it's like. That's why I said I'm the Diet Coke hood. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
But raising a single parent for a good portion of my life since the age of 10. You know, I had to take care of my sister in the process. You know, we moved to multiple different locations. Just me, my mom, my sister, by the way. So I learned a lot of it from her. You know, the reason why I was able to go to church was how? Because my mom was in church. You know how she got in church? No. Because her best friend, Myra, who passed away, got her to go to the church that we started to go to, which in turn gave me the opportunity to go to church. You see how that happens? Yeah. Because my mom, who was just being there trying to learn and get all this stuff, learned from her best friend, who so happened to be her co-worker. That's how she got there. I'll tell you how, and I'll give you a quick example of how that turns out. My mom, my mom and her best friend, Myra. The branch point would be, and then I'll say my Myra's sister, you know, Pam. 2 branch points. Pam has a son. My mom has me. Here's how the life's parallel. I go into music, go to do Christian music and whatnot, have a good, successful tour or whatnot. James Fauntleroy, not the name drop, he is probably one of the hottest producers in the game right now, who produces everybody.
You mentioned his name to me one time.
I know. Yeah. The only reason why I know him, the only reason why I know him was because my mom and her best friend Myra got together, which got to her to learn about her sister, which got me to James. And that's how we so happen to bridge.
Cross culture.
Not just cross culture. He does regular hip hop. His first artist was Nipsey Hussle, by the way. I was on the opposite end of the spectrum doing Christian hip hop. We both did hip hop, but we're on 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah. Yes, he is super successful. I'm alright.
You ain't alright, brother.
I'm alright. This boy, I'm gonna keep it talking. This boy is like 20 Grammys in and been 4 gold, 5 more because they didn't want to release a Silk Sonic album for a Grammy. But I know this man, like yesterday, I could call him right now, get him on speaker if I really needed to talk to him.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
That's how close we were. But the reason why that exists is because my mom allowed it to be. She's the one who instilled that in me to do that. And that's why I said when we lead into like the conversation about Mother's Day, you know, one of the things that I would ask y'all is, it's a weird direction. What's the things that your mom will be proud of each of you? I know it's a different direction.
No. You want to go first, or you want me to go?
You go ahead.
Okay, so before I lead into that, I can say I'm a reflecting of my mother because I look just like her. I'll say that with content. It's been plenty of
Did you
days.
say someone saw you at a store and they thought you were like brother and sister?
Yeah, and I was just gonna say that because it's not every day I don't go by where somebody thinks my mom is my sister, or if I'm her brother, and we get asked that all the time. Is y'all brother and sister? Like, no, that's my mom. And certain people believe me, some people don't. They're like, that's not your mama. That's my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Your mama too young to have your pick. You know what? But I like, man, and I said that's my mom. That's my twin. So I am a reflector of her for that. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that everything is bread and butter because sometimes mom and son have those hassles. That's a relationship. But I thank God every day that for my mom to go through what she went through.
Because your mom was a single parent.
As a single parent, raising two big boys. And I'm not gonna sit here and say, me and my brother never gave my mom hell because we both did. We boys.
I mean, I think all of us did to a degree.
Yeah, we got two different fathers, so But on a respect side, I can always say that my mom was always there, no matter what. Even though I hate to admit that, but at least I can say she ain't never disappeared.
True.
As a mother, because it's kids out there in this world who really don't have mothers or fathers, who never seen it, and and my mom did the best she could to a degree to try to raise me and my brother, even though sometimes we gave her craziness or we point fingers, we blamed her for a lot of shit, and most kids do that to their parents, but they're not seeing a real big picture on that. So that's one thing, I have a regret on just not telling my mom, I know we didn't have that much, but I thank God every day you did the best you could as you could have for that. And I'll tell that straight. I'll tell that to her face. Because I told her not too long ago, I said, as much as I hate to admit it, if life goes on, if you're not here the next day, at least I can say, you are the greatest mother a son can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her that yesterday. We may not, I may not have a lot of money, I may not be where I am, but at least I can say, I can look my mom in the eye and I tell her, my mom is always gonna be, and she has to worry about me, right now I'm all she's got. I'm all, and she all I got,
Mm-hmm.
But as we get older, times go fly, I can always say, only thing I want for my mom to be proud of is she see me trying to make something of myself.
And do you think that she's actually seeing the results of that?
Honestly, I know she does, but until she actually sees it more.
I think she sees it.
She sees it.
I think she actually sees it. I'm gonna be honest with you, but
yeah. Until and really, I can't give you an honest answer on that, Cam.
Well, I can.
I know you can, but me until there's a action and a reaction, if that makes sense. So
I could tell you because it's how she responds to you now. I know you think that. Well, what I'm doing right now may not be like fully fleshed out with money and all this stuff. Your mom doesn't care about the money. Your mom cares about you doing something that is positive, there's something that she could be like, my son is doing something. That's what she gets a chance to say. So when she pulls up to the family function, she ain't just saying, well, my son is this. My son is actually doing something. She doesn't care, even if it wasn't successful. Guess what the conversation be? My son got a podcast. You should check it out.
My son does. She has to tell people.
Right. That's the things that she's proud of. Does that mean that it has to be something monetarily flowing? No. She'll wait for that part. She don't care about that, but she is proud that you're making positive steps. Where you could be doing a bunch of other stuff, which is a lot of negative stuff, even if you was making money in that regard. Does that make sense?
It done some negative stuff.
No, I got it. Because there's a lot of people who do a lot of bad stuff who makes a low bunch of money that their moms and dads ain't really proud of. Because they're putting their life at risk to do it.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of parents out there who say, yeah, my kid's a drug dealer.
Right. There's a handful of parents who say that, but most parents be like...
Probably because they're in on it.
Right. But most parents is be like, if their kids is doing something positive, and they know that they're seeing progress, they're just as proud of that as anything else.
I mean, yeah, and I agree with you on that. But like I said, for me and my mom, because we have a relationship, our relationship is our relationship, but it's not like
it's not gonna be like everyone's
perfect relationship. If I could
oh no, it's not going to be.
Because for me, I wasn't the one always around my mother.
Right.
That was my brother, God rest his soul. So when I tell people this, they're like, yeah, me and my mom, we look the same. Me and my mom, we laugh and joke, but really, I wasn't the one with my mom like that. My brother was. So when I say my brother's the one who was able to handle my mom on certain levels, that's because he was with her. See, when it came to me and my brother, and I can say this, I can go to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's one thing my mom always said, she never had to worry about me because she know I wasn't doing nothing entirely crazy. My brother, on the other hand, she always had to worry about because that was my brother. And I sat here and told you guys 1,000 times how my brothers was.
No, I got you.
And I think, and I don't know if she has that regret-wise because she didn't have to worry about me so much.
Mm-mm.
But,
I mean, if I think,
but
really
at a certain point, I know my mom said, at least I know, my son is safe. I ain't got to worry about him, because he ain't doing no negative activity. So, as most mothers should, as most, mothers right now always got to say, just because, you're older than that means you're not my baby. I'm still going to worry about you.
That's a
fact.
No matter how old you get,
exactly.
they're still older than you.
Exactly.
My mom.
So, for that, and goes up to, what we're talking about for the Mother's Day, I just, sometimes I want to start seeing a lot of mothers get, not only get rewarded, just, get recognized, for their struggle, for their sacrifice, for the stuff they go through, because, we talk to a lot of, and we had this conversation the other day, we talk to a lot of mothers all the time, and, certain ones can't give it, honest opinion about, if they're a good mother or a bad mother, but certain ones can say, I'm still trying to fight more positive in the right, great direction for my kids.
And I'm gonna bank that point slightly. I'm gonna address that. So I'm gonna address that in a minute. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Vic. Your turn. And happy Mother's Day, mothers.
We're gonna get there too.
First off, as we officially started,
we've been rolling.
Yeah.
Let's do an introduction before we go any further.
Oh, yeah, we didn't introduce.
I didn't want to be rude.
How are they gonna know who's talking?
We didn't know. They know who we
know
be.
who we are.
They know who we be. But no, you're right.
I didn't care, because it stayed there.
We was swagging and surfing. Boy, we was doing. But you right. But
we gotta be professional.
we gotta do it right. Yes, you ain't wrong. You ain't.
So this is why I love Vic. He always get us back on track.
I know. We wasn't really sliding. Normally I'm the one who kind of slides his back, but that's right. We gotta slide and do it right. Let's do it proper then. You know who we be. If you haven't been listening along already, we are the PVC Podcast Crew. This is episode 52, 53. Sorry, I forget.
The numberman. Come on, man.
The numberments. Kid getting old. I'm tired. I had a long day at work. I'm sorry, and I got to get right back in the box in a little bit, but. We do this for you. First and foremost, shout out to all 60 of our subscribers. First and foremost, I do appreciate each and every one of y'all rocking along. For all the people who are new, who has not subscribed or like the podcast, please do. We appreciate y'all if y'all were to do so. It's definitely a privilege and an honor to have y'all rocking along with us. Also, shout out to our sponsor, Factor 75, of course. Shout out to them. Appreciate y'all rocking along and sponsoring the podcast as we go along with this. outside of that, let me. You did hear this man talk a few minutes ago talking about his mama, but let him go ahead and do a proper real fast. Paul, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? We're here on a lovely Friday day. We spend knowledge, talking that greatness, supporting all these mothers out here and stuff like that. But, before we get into it, I do want to give a shout out and to my condolences to a good friend of mine who just recently passed away yesterday. Her name was Christina, a fellow Walmart associate. Back in the days, I've been knowing her since I started with the company, So my love and support goes out to her husband, James, my brother, man, and, God rest your soul, Christina. Much love and respect to you. But, on top of that, it's just, I'm glad, thank God we're here for another day, thank God I'm alive, thank God my boys is alive, and we going on to new adventures and possibly new opportunities. So, besides that, I'm going to pass it on to my boy Vic. Vic, say what's up to the people.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. We've made it to the end of the weekend by the grace of God. Hope you're joining us today. Today's this episode, we're talking about Mother's Day. That's right, we're going to be talking about mothers, what they mean to us and what they mean to everyone else, and give them some respect that I think they are always due all days of the year, not just today. Although today you're allowed to take her out to a dinner you can't afford and buy flowers that are going to die in a week. That's fine. I'm just kidding. But
he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong.
That threw an arrow in my heart right there when you said that.
He ain't wrong.
I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness,
get your paper up.
but in all seriousness, I am glad that you are joining us this Friday for episode 53, Mother's Day. Like I said, we have a fixed topic today, like it is about mothers, and it's going to be talking about not only our mothers, but just mothers in general, and what they mean to the community, what they mean to children, and what they mean to everyone else. After all, none of us would be here without our mothers, and they wouldn't be mothers without our fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It takes two to make a family.
It takes two to tango and two to...
It takes two, baby. Me and you. See, you ain't got me started. Go ahead.
But, like I said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And as always, we encourage you to leave comments down below. How much you like it, how much you hate it. It don't matter. Please leave a comment. We like to hear your love. We like to hear your hate. We just like to hear you from you. That's all. Anyway, we're going to continue the conversation now. Passing it back over to Nerd Boy Fresh.
Oh, hey, y'all caught me off guard, got the glasses off and everything. You can't catch me like this.
You gotta see, brother, you got to see. You can't see.
I know, can't see.
It'd be nice to see.
No, we goody. y'all know who I be, Cam, a.k.a. Mr. Nerd Boy Fresh.
Figure.
Follow me on the gram and all that good stuff. Y'all know who we get down.
Hey, we gotta start that over. I didn't like that. Do that again. A.k.a. Nerd Boy Fresh. We gotta fix that.
Do it.
Do it.
I have to do it again.
I would just say Ficky.
Nah, forget all that. We're gonna sit there. I want to do it. Y'all know who I be. My name is Cam, aka Mr. Nerd Boy Fresh. Friggy.
There we go.
Follow me on the gram and all that good stuff.
Can't wait till we get that on the shirt.
Now, look, I'm not saying glasses were a bad idea.
Yeah,
the brother got to see.
Nerd Boy Fresh.
Got to see.
Actually, I know we've been talking about mamas on this podcast. Y'all kind of caught us. We were mid-flight on a conversation piece. Oh, we've been rolling.
No, live.
Oh no, we're not going live. I'm actually going to pre-record this and put it on our Twitch page a little bit later. I'm gonna change the direction. I'm gonna change direction slightly.
She's my favorite.
No, I'm gonna change the direction slightly, real quick. Something I was just thinking about when we were talking. Shout outs to the Far Side, the music group. Did y'all used to do your mama jokes?
Yeah.
You went there.
Yeah,
I don't know why you went there.
Yeah. Your mom is so fat. How fat is she? Your mama was
You really want to go there?
Now,
Your mama.
let me tell you something. Did y'all get let me ask this. Did y'all get butt hurt when people used to talk about your mama like that? Y'all want to like fight every single time it got like for real?
For me,
probably a few times he got a little heated.
No, I think only time I got really when my grandmother got in the mix. But besides that, mama jokes. I really
So you let your mama clown your mama like that?
I mean, back then, jokes was jokes. When I was really, a lot of us didn't take that to the heart because it was just all fun and jokes. That's just what people who I ran with.
Nah, I'm a.
I mean, it ain't, I heard so many mama jokes, but none of them made me want to just be like, oh man, I'm finna, knock this brother head off for talking about my mama. Unless, he said something, like if he really would have mean it, then that's something different.
I seen people get.
But I had seen brother.
I seen people get clean knocked out over some mama jokes. Like for real.
Well, tell me one.
No.
We're here to honor mothers today.
No, I just use that.
He brought it up.
No, I use that as a reference because I know how.
I know what he was watching. He was watching The Living Color the other night.
Nah, we talked to Living Color on the last podcast. If y'all didn't
That's what it was. Well, after we talked about, he went home and watched it.
It was just I thought about it right now. It's like, dude, you know how
cameras at work like.
No, because you know how people do. They'll be like, because that's the one thing when people be like trying to really get a person mad.
Don't talk about my mama.
Don't talk about my mama.
So you lucky in front of all these people.
Exactly. They'll be at work. Because they be trying to pop shot your mama like this. Like, man, you lucky I'm at work.
That be females. They're like, you ain't shit. Your mama ain't shit. and they be knowing. And they know they can push that button. Oh, yeah.
They know they can push that button because they know that it's the one person.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take that back. Yeah.
That's the one person who.
Because.
Let somebody. I'm gonna keep it talking. Let somebody talk about my mama for real like that.
Because I never forget. I got into it with my ex about that. What she brought my mama, and I'm like, girl.
I said, I said you got one time.
Yeah.
you got one time.
And the funny thing is, my mama heard it. She acted it out one time. She said, I never saw my son got mad at a female until she brought up my name, and he went off, and I did go off. I didn't. Pardon my French, but I'm gonna tell you. I went there.
I'm gonna tell you, like I said, it's a handful of people you don't want to have that conversation about.
That's my mama.
I was like, my mom, like I said,
my mama was like, I think she's still tall. Like that's my baby.
Nah, because you want to know why? Because a lot of people want to push your buttons. Yeah. That's always been ever since elementary school.
I do get it. Yeah, I do hate that when people
because people like when you were to school, that would be the way to push your button. They'll talk about your mama.
I know how to get this brother going.
Let me talk about his mama real quick.
Then you gotta catch these hands.
Then the female want to instigate something.
I'm going Jim Carrey from Me, Myself, and Irene.
Then the female, they want to instigate stuff like you said about talking about your mama.
Until your mama ain't shit, your daddy ain't shit.
Until they figure out that you got a sister or a cousin or somebody who pull up on them, then they cool all that stuff out.
Yeah. I didn't see my cousins do some crazy shit.
But I was like, because you be like, dog, tell some of your mama jokes. She's like, dude, I haven't told no mama jokes since elementary school. Because that's when I was at, when I got to like junior high stuff, I got to the point where I understood like, because you gotta understand, like if you were cool with them, even if you were just joking, you cool with their mama at some point. You gotta talk to their mama.
You gotta look at their mama.
You just said all your mama jokes. You said all the mama jokes. Their mama said it right there.
That before. I was so scared of my homeboy mama because she came. So you said this.
You said this about because you know what they're gonna happen. Like you said this about me.
So say it. And I was like,
I'm good.
And then she grabbed my ear. So no, say it. Say what you said. I was like, oh.
So it goes.
Shout out to my boy. I ain't gonna mention his name, but he know if he sees this episode, he know who I'm talking about.
I say that to say this because I say that to lead to a very important point. Do you think in this day and age, in this society, that we, as a generation of society, respect mothers and motherhood?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Elaborate.
Yeah, I'll let you take it.
Enough. Motherhood's been demonized, if anything. Just look at the abortion debate. I mean, nowadays motherhood is seen as not as the glorious gift that it is, but it's seen as a burden and a chain, stopping a woman from fulfilling her dreams and doing what she wants in her life. I mean, it's a horrible thing, really. People, they demonize motherhood. They make it look like this thing that's bad, that's not beneficial. It's like they don't want you to find the true fulfillment, which fulfillment for a woman is in motherhood, bringing children, just like how fulfillment in a man is fatherhood with a family, because there's nothing more important in a human sense than the next generation, making the next generation, raising that generation, providing for that generation, make sure they come up right. But in modern society, like you said earlier, it's all selfish. It's about you, you, and you. And it's not just fatherhood. I mean, it's not just motherhood, it's fatherhood as well, or just marriage in general, relationships in general. Motherhood's roped into it, though. But it's just been degraded to such a point to where it's all about loose connections, loose relationships, quick, fast, and dying satisfaction, emptiness, hollow fulfillment. It's essentially a life of eating nothing but...
I know I got that. I know you got me bumped. I got a question in my head, and I want to make sure I don't forget.
It's essentially a life of just eating nothing but empty air. It's a life of cotton candy, if you will.
I can see your point of view on that.
There's no substance to it. There's no benefit to it. It's nothing versus a life of, meat, potatoes, and veggies, of nutrition, value, and things like that. But people want the cotton candy life.
I got a secondary. I want to
hear your question.
I got a secondary question. Do you think motherhood is Do you think
I know where you're going.
Do you think motherhood has been? I'm just going to use the term, but it's not exactly the term I want. Do you think motherhood's been degraded because of the way that it's been portrayed, and more importantly, monetized?
So motherhood has been degraded
and before you answer, what I mean by monetized is that how a lot of people.
Let me say something on this before you get started. Yes. For me, was because
people, and what I mean by monetized, before you go, what I mean for this is for the kids in the back who may not understand the term monetized, because there is money involved in the motherhood process, meaning that government assistance, getting money from.
Go ahead, Vic.
So you're asking if motherhood's been degraded because of that?
I know. That's why I want to clarify before you.
That unfortunately has caused a lot of women to go into motherhood for the wrong reasons. When it's not motherhood they're after. They're not after having a family and having children. If anything, they're just looking to get knocked up and then use those children as an excuse to take money from the government and take money from the person who they had children with. It's unfair to the man. Granted, especially if he willingly participated, then, I mean, brother, you got to know there's risks, right? Mm-hmm. Especially when you're not protected. But if she were to do something heinous, which unfortunately there are women out there who do this, such as poke holes and the condom and whatnot.
That's what I was trying to get to. That's what I want you to hear thoroughly before you got it.
What's it called? Entrapment, if you will.
So,
which is wrong, but the government will still force people to say. Essentially, yes, Cameron. Motherhood has been.
I'm getting you to go someplace because I'm giving you this so I can give you the flip. But go ahead.
So essentially, like everything in general, it's just gotten worse.
Yes.
It's gotten worse. It's only getting worse. There is no fixing this. It's just going to get worse, and I do fear for the future generations to come. Because Cameron, Sodom, and Gomorrah are on the horizon. It ain't getting better, dude.
That's a fact. Go.
Before I say this,
first of all, why are you scared? He got his head low.
This ain't. I'm gonna say this to all.
There is a flip. There's a flip.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna let both of y'all. But I've seen this happen. Certain females get pregnant just because who the person they with, and they think it's gonna be lasting forever. Now I didn't see it on both sides.
Pause.
Go ahead.
That's different in a little bit of a respect, because you're gonna make. I'm gonna come back to it, but you're gonna make. You made a point right there that you just don't know you made a point.
I know I made a point,
but I'm not gonna address it in a different way. Okay. But that's more of a positive than a negative.
Then we'll go back to this.
It's more of a perception. But keep going.
Okay,
it's more of a perception thing.
Okay,
but go ahead.
Okay. So let me say this. Okay, so. And the benefit of the doubt, when you bring a person to the world, it's supposed to be for the right reasons. Everything Vic just said. But I seen babies get brought up to this world for not the right reasons. I see people made babies on accidents, wasn't planned. Hell, I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't ever have it. I don't have it. Never lost a baby because I mean, I got a chick pregnant. I don't even know if she kept it or not. I can say that with content. But on the flip side, to a degree, certain mothers know the risk and rewards when it comes to bringing a baby in the world. Some prepare, some not. Some keep it, some don't. But on the flip side, I'm not knocking any mothers who don't know how to grind and hustle, because I've seen a lot of mothers grind and hustle with nothing and still maintain and still make it and still provide for their kids and still make sure that their kids have clothes on their back and food on their table. I've seen mothers be mothers and fathers together in the same combination and still make it. I seen a mother, hell, my mother's there, and I seen a mother take $10 to her last name and still fed me, my brother, her, and other people. Mm-hmm. So, and for a respect way, I see a lot of mothers don't get a lot of credit that they really do deserve because of how the way they approach or how the way they act or just by, how they body language. I see, people, knock certain good mothers off because, and you see this happen a lot, whether if they drop them off at school or if they're in the store or just out in public generally, it's like, oh, their kids turn out this way, baby, because, how they, and they don't, after they don't even say that, they don't even bring up their father, they just say how their mother raised them. Mm-hmm. And I hear that, and I see that happen a lot.
Because you have a lot of single moms out there, so that's one. So you may.
Well, you also got. You can tell a lot about what kind of mother she is. If she looks better and nicer than her kids, that's a pretty telling sign of what kind of mother she is.
Or a lot of times, it's.
But even with that, some still should not just based off that.
No, that's why I don't solely base that. That's more of a.
It's telling.
I understand what you're saying.
If it's a big,
but not knocking what you're saying.
No, it's telling from if it's a big disparaging gap between the two, meaning that if the mom was dressed up in Gucci, for example, and then the kids is wearing like some Garanimals,
You really went there.
I'm just like, hey. I'm just saying,
yeah,
there's a big gap. But normally that gap is a lot closer if you really pay attention. But
you know what he's saying about that, right? Okay.
But you made 2 points. So one, your original point, you had said that people get, they become mothers or whatnot because they were basing it off of what they thought. Remember we were talking about this earlier, the potential of, this should last forever, we should have a kid. Yeah, in theory, that's how it should be. That doesn't mean that it always is the case. That's literally what happened to me. You go into the marriage thinking that, okay, it's going to be forever. We're going to have a couple of kids. We keep this moving. It didn't work out. Understandably so. So does that mean that, my ex-wife, is a single mom? Yeah, in theory. That doesn't mean that I'm not involved. But ultimately, she still is a single mom. She was a single mom for a long period of time until she got remarried. It's how that happens. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean I wasn't involved in life. That just means that by technical, that's how that was. She was a single parent because we weren't together. But we didn't go in there thinking that it was she didn't go into the relationship thinking that it was a money thing. We had the kids based upon, at the time we were married, we did it in the confines of the marriage.
Can I ask you a
question? Yeah. And I will answer that question momentarily. Versus, remember we were talking about the Nick Cannon thing at the top in the pre-show, and how the girls that Nick Cannon's with, they just kind of had his baby with no real, not married, not in the confines of, not even with the potential of being in a marriage-ish situation or even in a dating-ish situation. Yes, they just kind of just had the baby just because of the monetary gain that they would get from it. That's kind of where you are. There's two different schools of thought here. So one school of thought is, in a relationship, marriage, hopefully the marriage worked, but in the case that it didn't, there's kids involved.
Well,
versus those girls who are just going to be a mom on the strength of, well, this dude got a whole bunch of money. If I have his baby, he has to pay me because. That makes sense? But before we continue, I want you to ask, you had a question. No, you had a question. Ask your question. I didn't want to not answer it.
Do you think the grass is always greener on the other side?
In regards to?
yeah, that's a little too broad there,
Yes.
brother.
In regards to what? In regards to being outside of the marriage versus being within the marriage, in regards to the kids. I want to get
okay, kids wise.
So, from that perspective, like if you ask the kids, I always said it always has and it always will be tough on the kids. My kids, if they were on it, and again, you'll get a chance to sit down with the kids. When my son gets closer to home, you will get a chance to sit down with him. And if he was being very honest with you, he would tell you that it was tough because every kid always wants the same thing. They want their mom and their dad to be together no matter what. And any kid who's really telling you, they're really not telling you that, is basically lying to you because that is the way that we are naturally born and bred within us to be in the confines of having our mom and dad together and having them both be there and be both in our lives.
Well,
not knowing that sometimes that can be a very destructive thing. Now,
yeah, because a child is a physical representation of a union,
right,
between two flesh becoming one,
right.
So naturally, that representation of that union would want that union to remain,
right,
because if that union breaks, then it's gonna feel like, then what?
Because
then why am I here?
No, but you're constantly splitting your love between two completely separate situations now. Now, that does not mean that I don't love my kids to death. That does not mean my ex-wife doesn't love the kids to death. They do. We both put equal energy into both of them. Okay. But from their perspective, ultimately, if they really got honest with you and said what they would rather have, they would rather have us both still be together. But it got probably the next best thing that they probably could have is that we have a very cordial co-parenting situation, which allows her to do her thing, allows me to do my thing, but still ensures that the kids is taken care of no matter what. Now, does that mean that, me and my ex-wife don't have our fair share of issues? Well, of course we do. But that does not mean that we don't co-parent well. We just so happen to. But that took a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of drama to get there. So, is it greener? From my perspective, it's probably what I would say the next best thing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's not the most ideal thing. You don't go into a marriage thinking that it's going to break up. But, like I told y'all before, ultimately, if we would have stayed together, I think it would have been more destructive as we went along. Yes, we tried to make that work. It's not like we didn't. Mm-hmm. But that does not mean that, staying together was the best option. It would have been probably the worst option, and ultimately it would have been the worst option for the kids because they would have saw the destruction in front of their face, if that makes sense. They would have saw the constant argument, the constant bickering, the constant everything in front of their face all the time, and that would have been worse. Because you don't want to put that in their face. Because a lot of times what a lot of kids see is like, yeah, my mom and dad's together, but they're not really together. They're constantly arguing. My mom and dad's constantly arguing with each other all the time. They're constantly fighting. They're constantly bickering.
Well, it's
That's not a good environment for the kids.
It's like radioactive fallout, right? Bomb goes off, right? Fallout's going to hit the kids, right? Essentially, they're going to, like you're saying, they're going to absorb that. And it's going to damage development pretty severely.
So now, let me say this.
But yeah, keep going. Keep asking.
Let me say this, or let me ask this. And this, that's not out of the box.
No, you can say whatever you want.
What makes a good mother?
So what makes a good mother? a good mother.
This is for both of you guys.
Because the answer to that is a good mother is. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a very subjective answer. Because what you would think is somebody as a good mother, what Vic would think is a good mother, what I would think is a good mother is probably 3 different answers, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's one thing that will constitute that. Certain people will say, my mom's a good mom because she has a $1 million paying job and she could provide for me whatever I want, whenever I want, at any point in time. That's how certain kids think. Mm-hmm. Some people say, my mother's a good mother because she got everything from nothing, did everything that she could for me, and gave me the opportunity to have the things that I have, including going to high school, graduating college, and being a job. Certain people would say being a good mother is my mom kept me in church this whole way through so I could be grounded to be the person that I am. Certain people would say my mother's a good mother because she was in the trap cooking that stuff up and she was able to provide for me where there was no other way to do it. You understand what I mean by it's just a very subjective answer? Yeah. My mother's a good mother because she was able to, I could talk to her at any point in time about anything, no matter what, and she will not judge me. Certain people think that's good motherhood. So I'm telling you that that's a very broad and subjective answer. But what I can tell you is that, what makes my mom, and why I love my mom is because, like your mom, my mom did it from nothing with very little help. So going from, living from spot to spot to spot to spot, having to live in my grandmother's house, having to live in Baldwin Park, and living in a 1-bedroom, moving to Cerritos and doing everything. She did it on her own. Single income, 2 kids. She didn't ask much of us. She still provided for us. Were we up there bumming it going to school? No. We still was dressing good. We didn't ask. I didn't have to get super high-end stuff. But it's not like I was walking around with nothing back in the day when cross colors and all that stuff was popping. Guess what I had? Cross colors and stuff. Because my mom made a way. Does that mean that we was like eating like nothing at all? No, there was days when we ate chicken pot pies for dinner. But there was other days where we will be eating, like going out to dinner, eating scissors stuff. Those are the things when my mom made it on a single parent, like basically sacrificing everything that she was to get to where she is now. She sacrificed a lot. She sacrificed financially, to be honest with you, she sacrificed basically 25 years of financial security. Meaning that she was in debt so much because she was a single parent. And she acquired so much debt that y'all think that, well, I'm in like 4 or 5K worth of debt. She was a single parent and probably was like in quadruple that amount of debt. She was in a lot of debt. I ain't gonna talk my mama's money like that. But I will talk my mama where she is now. She is financially free. Amen. Meaning that she has no bill. She's still a single mom. No bill. I mean, there's bills, but there's no
debt.
She has 0 debt. She has probably the most perfect credit score that you could have. She could buy anything, get anything she wants, and she still works a job that she's probably going to retire in about maybe a year and a half.
Are we talking like American Express Black?
Yes. She could easily get an Amex Black. She doesn't know the reason why she's no. I'm not saying that to be like, well, it's not because really it ain't even about the money. Really how that was. And if you ask her, she would tell you, it's what God has blessed me with. God's blessed me with. He started blessing me with a little, and then I started utilizing that little and making it work and become more. Well, so and the Lord started blessing me with more.
That is just wonderful what you're saying because it's going to go right into what I'm going to tell you.
Right, but that's literally how my mom is. Because my mom did it from nothing, but it wasn't just because she did it from nothing. It wasn't just she went from nothing to something. What the one thing that was consistent with her is that she made sure two things happen with me and my sister. One, we had two responsibilities. One responsibility was that we always had to be in church, and there was no question to that. And we didn't argue with that. The other responsibility was that we had to graduate college, because that's the one thing that she wanted. I didn't care about going to college, but I did it for her. I still have a degree from Long Beach State. I got a bachelor's of music. I got an AA computer science, but I did it for her. It didn't matter if I got that degree or not. I was still going to be successful in music either way it went. But I did it for her because that's what she wanted. Because, like I said, remember I kept telling you it was bigger than me? It was bigger than me even then. Because then it was, if my mom needed something, I did it. My mom said, take care of my sister. That's exactly what I did. I'm running track. I'm taking my sister to my track practices with me because that's what my mom needed. But when she came home, she was like, what do y'all want? You want something? I got it. How do you think, you'd be like, well, I was the one spot who had all the video game consoles. So when the Sega Genesis came out, I was the only spot that had it. You want to know why? Because my mom made sure it happened even though she didn't really have the money to do it.
Do you think, before I'll let you go, I want to ask one thing. Do you think certain mothers have regret on that because certain things they couldn't do for their kids?
No. I think here's what I think. Here's why I'm gonna give a lot of people, and here's what I'm gonna talk about the mothers for a little bit. There's a lot of situations There's a lot of situations that comes with being a mother in general, even in the confines of a marriage and a relationship. There's a lot of responsibility that goes with that. But if you're a single mom, it's even twice as tough. No matter how you got to the point of being a single mom, it's really tough being in that position. And we, the one thing about being at our job, we're in front of single moms all the time. And it's crazy. You would think that, well, a lot of these people should be married. A lot of the moms should be, connected. Hi, moms. Doing good. A lot of people think that the mom should be like, the mom should be in a marriage situation or in a relationship situation. A lot of times that's not the case. A lot of the moms are single moms at this point. It's just where we are in our society. Does that mean that they're bad mothers? No. Relationship-wise, things may have went sideways, but that doesn't mean they're bad moms. A lot of times those moms would do anything for their kids because you hear them make the sacrifice. I hear the conversations all the time. Yo, I gotta dip from work early so I can go make sure my kids get to school. I just put in 8 hours, but I gotta skate, get them to school, get them doing this stuff. They're on the grind. They're doing it. They're pushing. With very little help from their significant other if they're in a relationship, or the father of their kids, where it may be a very toxic situation. A lot of times it's exactly that. But a lot of single parents really don't get rewarded for it, if that makes sense. But I think a lot of moms don't look for the reward. The reward doesn't come from us as guys recognizing that. You know where their reward comes from? It's from their kids doing the responsible thing. They would want that more than to have any one of us guys recognize that. Mm-hmm. They don't really, they're cool with the recognition. Most moms, and if they be honest with you, they don't need it. What they would rather have, I know a lot of guys be like, well, I gotta give my girl something for Mother's Day and stuff. You know what they would rather have? They'd rather have their kids give it to them.
It's like, what's the farmer's reward?
Right.
Compliments on his work or the crop.
Right.
The crop. Like, that's what mothers want, a good crop, a.k.a. good children. Right? Those children that fear the Lord, children that are on the right path, children that are doing something value with their time. That's the reward for any parent, both mother and father.
Right.
That's the reward. Because compliments mean what? What do compliments do? Sure, I'm not saying encouragement's a bad thing, but encouragement does not equal fulfillment.
It's gas. I don't need anybody to gas me up. But it's the same thing. I want my kids to be successful. The best thing that you can have is like I told my kids. I was just telling my son, it's like, you better not forget to call your mama for Mother's Day or your grandmother's for Mother's Day. I don't care what you doing. You call, you say what's up, you make sure they good. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest with you, you don't even have to get them nothing. As long as you understand that.
I don't care if you're in the middle of a firefight, you better pick up that phone.
I don't care if he's in the middle of work. I don't care if he is on a cruise ship. And believe me, I mean, for people who don't know, my son is in the Marines right now. He's
deployed or just at base?
No, he's at base right now. He's in North Carolina. But it's still, the thing is, don't forget. Don't forget.
That's because that's most that.
I don't. Here's the thing, and this is crazy because for Father's Day, I don't care. You don't have to call me. I already know what it is. But you absolutely better call your mama, and you better call your grandmothers. Both of them.
I was like, listen, man. If you don't call up your mama on Mother's Day, I'm gonna drive all the way down there to North Dakota, and I'm gonna have to put
and keep in mind, like I said, and I told you, we're separate. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have my kids not do that. I'm still gonna tell my ex-wife Happy Mother's Day. Why? And I know I said this last year. I'm gonna reiterate this point because even though that we're not together, that doesn't mean that I don't respect the fact that she is the mother of my kids.
And I hear that a lot too.
But people don't really get that. But for real ones, people like, I don't care if we was hating each other, arguing every single day. I'm still gonna respect that. Because no matter what happened in the relationship-wise,
you're still the mother of my kids.
No, I have to love and respect the fact that she's the mother of my kids. And I know other people, when they get into different relationships, they really don't understand that. But it's automatic. You have to. But this is the problem when you have, I hate to say that I use the Nick Cannon types, but I am going to use that because it's a perfect example. When you have kids here, kids here, kids here, kids here, kids here, 8 different, 4 or 5 different baby moms and stuff, it's hard to distribute that out.
Yeah, because that's not God's design.
It's hard to distribute that out. It's hard for him to be like, go to the mother of the kids and all this. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, that's the price of adultery. You're going to do something like that, then you're going to pay the price. It's a lot.
Because it kind of like, kind of degrades it. It's different conversation, but it's tough to be in that type of scenario, and it's tough for those moms. But the thing about it is, like I told you from top, is that those moms put themselves in that situation, knowing that they wasn't doing it with the right pretense and the premise in mind, but now they have to carry this responsibility, not just for 18, they got to carry responsibility for life. Right. Being a mom and being a dad doesn't stop just because a kid's 18. That responsibility is for life. For the duration of your life. You are a mother. I am a dad. It's just what it is.
So let me ask you guys this question.
But go ahead, but Vic, no, I didn't mean to jump. Go ahead, Vic.
I'm sorry.
Say what you want to say.
No, go ahead. Finish, because I'll say this one. Let's go ahead.
So go back all the way to our original conversation. You were saying what makes a good mother.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so going back to
that was his.
Yeah. Anyway, I got a proverb here. Proverb 31. Going to verse 10, right? It's in line with what you said, similar to how your mother was, right? So anyway, mind you, this proverb is essentially, I think, is a mother talking to her son, telling him what a good wife would be, and a wife would inevitably be a mother, right? But anyway, a wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. As she considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and she supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you can surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate.
All right, hold that. I got you. So for all the people in the back, I'm going to paraphrase this and break this down into very normal, practical terms. I know a lot of times y'all don't understand, like in biblical, when they're breaking this down. In short, this woman is a woman who, A, is respected, B, married, C, works, D, is a mom, E, holds down the household. Her husband is somebody who is also a respectable one who is sitting in
The
a
husband
position.
and wife are equally yoked.
They're sitting in leadership. But it goes into a different thing about, a lot of people be like, well, as a mother, I shouldn't have to work. I shouldn't have to do these things. Biblically speaking, a lot of the mothers, they do work. And it's not like they have to, because obviously the husband is making some sort of simple money. Yeah. But she's choosing to. But she's also is reaching out to help not just her family. She's doing her job, handling her kids, handling her household, but she's also looking out for the people around her. What's the phrase? It's bigger than just you. You starting to get it now?
Yeah.
And on top of that, I know some of you hear this.
Y'all starting to get it now? I'm trying to get y'all to get this.
I feel you.
And I know some people are probably hearing this and thinking, wow, that sounds really hard. Who told you this would be easy?
No, but here's the thing. Think about this. It's not really hard. So think about what we just said.
Cam, don't downplay this task.
No. It's not. This is not hard. Are you working? You making some money, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Are you looking out for your household? Meaning that, are you making sure your household is straight?
Yes.
It's not hard if you really think about it. All that means is what? Your house is clean, your kids is cool, things like that. I'm just breaking this down in very practical layman terms so y'all can really understand. Are you good to the people who are around you? Are you looking out for the people that's around you? You're not being the one who's destructive, fighting, arguing with other people around you. Are you the one trying to build people up or break people down? Which one are you going to be? It's not really that hard, because that's just a mindset that you have to just say, like, look, I'm trying to build people up. So that means that when I talk and present myself to people, I'm going to build people up. The person who I choose to be with, are they respected? Not necessarily are they respected? Mm-hmm. Then the other thing is, I may look good, but is that the number one priority?
Well, it's the second.
Understand, that's the very last thing that's mentioned.
It's the second to last verse.
Right. It's the
Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting.
Meaning that even though you may look good, the beauty can and typically goes away. But that's the second to last thing that is mentioned. Think about that. Matt, take it back. That is the beauty part is the last thing. But what in this society is being gassed up first? When women talk about their lifestyle.
Because all these positive things would be done by a woman who fears the Lord. For it says right here, a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Because a woman who fears the Lord will operate like this.
Right. Because it won't be. Because think about it. It won't be beauty first.
I was just going to say that.
It won't be.
When Victor said that last line,
it won't be.
That is strong right there.
But
that's strong.
That's
because
biblical. It's not beauty first.
No, because what you just said, a woman fears the Lord.
They would operate like that. So think about how they operate. Think about I just want you to think about the order in which it was said.
It's just comprehended now because when you said that line, it's just like,
this whole proverb not wants it to say, oh, how she looked, or oh, how she, it doesn't talk about beauty. When it brings up beauty, it says, yeah, it's fleeting and deceptive.
Right. That means it's last in the pecking order. The first thing in the pecking order was what? Is she taking care of the household? She's actually is working towards something. She's actually, third of that list was she's connected with somebody who was respected.
Mm-hmm.
So, that means that she's established a lot of stuff on her own before she got to the thing. But as a mother, a lot of times as mothers, that is the priority change. Like, look, take care of...
Real quick, you got to clarify. Respected does not equal a person of authority.
Yes.
In that sense, respected is just simply living a godly life.
Right.
That is being respected.
So that doesn't, and so
it's not talking about your husband has to be a CEO.
Yeah, let me clarify that. That's not anything. Respected does not necessarily equate to monetarily respected, meaning that you don't have to be a multimillionaire to be respected. You could be respected being a truck driver. You could be respected being an MMA fighter. You could be respected being a teacher. You could be respected actually being a student. Respected is how people view and respond to that person. Same thing.
Because there's plenty of millionaires out there that people don't respect.
They
clown on them all day.
They hate.
Yeah, I feel
Forget
that
it.
one.
They respect. They don't respect them. They respect the money.
So then, let me ask you guys this question.
But that's for a mother. But when you go back to the mother point of view, that's from the mother point of view.
So, and I'll start with you, then they'll go around this way. So, Vic, what's the one thing that you think that, or what's the one thing that you haven't done for your mother that you want to do for your mother?
What?
What's the one thing that's your mom that you want to do for your mama that you ain't done yet?
Yeah. Before you see it, I'm sorry.
She hasn't done?
No. What's the one thing you want to do for your mother that you haven't had the chance to do?
That you want to do.
That you would like to do. Like, if you want to take her on a cruise or... Well, it doesn't have to be like...
Don't get way to ask. I'm just like...
No. I'm just giving you examples. I ain't giving you answers. I'm giving you examples.
That was funny. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have. Let me clear this up. It doesn't necessarily have to be in that order. It's just something that you always something you want to do with your mom.
With her or for her?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably.
I know, brother. It's not a tough one. But,
Well, it requires thought.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's just truly what would it be?
Yeah.
Probably.
That's the result I want.
No,
I mean, not the result, but.
No, it's a thought.
It's a thought process.
I'll give you a minute, and I'll give you
thought
this
process.
because I just told y'all about my mom.
I'll tell you. Her baptism.
Yeah.
Together?
I can see that.
No, for her.
Oh, okay. That's lovely.
That's the most important thing. That's all that matters. Her baptism. She believes she does, but only very recently has she started to truly understand the faith.
So basically what you're saying, you would like to see your mother get baptized?
Yes.
Okay.
Mind you, baptism, infant baptism, that doesn't mean anything. It's nowhere in the Bible.
Yeah.
But baptism as an adult, baptism only happens when you come to faith, right? Because without faith, you're just getting dunked in water. Nothing's changed.
Okay.
Right. Baptism. Baptism in itself does not save.
I know.
But her baptism, I would like to be there for that.
No, I got you. And here's why I say where it's a little bit is it would be a lot different of an answer for me because I'm gonna tell you my mom's perspective. I just told you.
Yeah.
There is nothing that my mom. There's nothing that my mom would want because 90% of the stuff from a monetary point of view she has.
Okay.
She's been on trips. She got cars. She pushes a good car. She got a good job. She travels all the time. She got a house. She got all that stuff. She got it. So people think that, oh, well, I would want to do something monetary like, oh, go on a cruise stuff. My mom don't want that. You know what my mom would want to do? Just keep doing what she's been doing. Having the opportunity to just hang out with me and my sister. And so for me, it would just be able to be in a position to give her the time to do it. The thing is that, yeah, she works hard and stuff, but because she's getting ready for herself, she has time to do it. It's me. I'm the one on the grind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm the one working. I'm the one, pushing and moving and doing a whole bunch of stuff. All my mom would really want was to just hang out. And it sucks because I know me and my mom had this discussion all the time. Every single time that she wants to do something, I'm not able to do it for one reason or another. Whether it's work or otherwise. Why? It's because I'm on the grind. You know what my mom would want? Oh, let's go to San Diego and go to the zoo. Why? Because she would just want to hang out. I know you think that's something simple or something. No, because it's not even about the activity.
Nice.
No, it's not even about the activity. I don't care if we would sit at the park chilling.
It's either that or suit shopping.
Yeah. It's not even that. It's just my mom is the type of one who's like, let's go to the outlet store. I don't have no money. I'll pay. Doesn't matter. She doesn't care about the money. She just cares about just hanging out with me.
It's the time.
But see, it's for me to create the time. You know how many times I have to tell my mom no for one reason or another? I'm working. And typically, I'm working on something. I'm working.
I'm on the grind. Yeah.
I'm on the grind. And the thing is, and the crazy thing about that is, she actually respects that a lot because she knows I'm on the grind. She knows I'm not just playing around, just sitting. She knows I'm not just sitting at home, like just playing on the Xbox all day, just chilling. She knows I'm grinding and working. Every single time she calls, you at work right now? You podcasting right now?
She going, I know you. I didn't raise no slander.
Dead serious. Dead serious. She'll probably text me in about 30 minutes. You done with the podcast yet? You done yet? And then I'm dead serious because she knows from here I lay down for an hour and I'm in the grind. So she either catches me after the podcast or right before I'm walking into work. I talked to her yesterday and I'm literally pulling up to the job talking to my mama because I still, even with all the stuff I got going on, I still got to cut some time out for her.
Yeah.
But I don't get a chance to do all the fun stuff with her, meaning that my sister rolls with my mom all the time. So the answer from my sister's perspective will be completely different than my answer. Why? Because my sister goes with her every place. Go to Vegas, my sister's there. Cruise there. Concerts there.
Simply put,
I'm not there.
Simply put, Cam's the kind of man, if he ain't using his blade, he's busy sharpening it.
Right. But in the same conversation, what my mama want was just to hang. That's why she always asks, you got free time? If you got free time, let's go here. You got free time, let's go here. Let's go to the Strawberry Festival. Let's go to, go to the beach for a little bit. Whatever. Doesn't matter what the event is. Doesn't matter.
It's time.
It's just the time. That's all my mom would want.
That's
And I know people think that it's crazy because they be like,
it's sad they think it's crazy.
I know because people gonna think that, dog. Well, you have money. You have this. Yes, I do. But I just literally just don't have the time, and that sucks because that's all my mom would want. Have the time. Vic said, "Oh, I want my mom to be baptized." My mom would just be happy for me to just be the chance to just go back and go to church with her. Because unfortunately, because the way that my work structure is, I don't get a chance to do that with her. I do go to church. Half the time I see it online, but when I do get a chance to physically go into my own church, it's not necessarily with her. Does that make sense? Yeah. But she would want us to just go to church with her. Even if it's just 2 hours. Go to church, go to lunch, and dip. You know how easy that day would be? I wouldn't have to spend nothing. I wouldn't have to spend nothing. I wouldn't have to spend gas money. My mom would pick me up. We go to Faithful Central, go to church, turn around, go to Spaghettini's, go eat at a super fancy. I mean, people would think that's a super fancy restaurant, and then dip. You know what my mom say? I got it. It's nothing. Because she don't even care about the money. She's like me. We don't care. We care about the time.
I don't say not concerned.
No, when I say she don't care, I promise you, she really don't care. She really don't. So, she makes it, but I'm just like, that will be the answer. It's time, not necessarily anything like that.
So,
anyway, what about you?
So for me,
and you better get it right because she's in the earshot too.
As I'm getting older,
as he lives and breathes,
because
you better get it right too.
I'll be 36 this year. I'm almost in my 40s.
Man, you only look 26.
But I think
he's only 18. He's been working at the job since he was 2.
He just got his driver's license.
Exactly.
I think for me, the one thing I do want to do with my mom before don't have a chance to, I think is just taking a good vacation with my mom. I think once the money when I do get the money right
Anywhere
for myself.
in particular?
I don't care.
Like a Yellowstone.
No, I think one place that I do want to go with my mom.
Oh, or that place from Dumb and Dumber.
Nah.
What's it called?
My mom ain't want to do that road trip. I think just go.
Aspen.
The Aspen, Colorado. First of all, Aspen, Colorado is dope.
I think going on a cruise.
Like brothers up there though.
Going on a cruise with my mom would be fun. I mean, I mentioned casino with my mom.
You should go. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all should go on a cruise at least once in your life. That's a fact.
Just don't eat the shrimp.
Mother and son was.
Go, but do that Alaska cruise.
I hear that's cheaper. Is it?
It's not cheaper, but it's so much more fun. And I know a lot of people do the Mexico one because like 3 days you get up and get back. But the one that Alaska, that's the fun one.
And to
see like the icebergs and stuff. That stuff.
Going to, well, I already told you guys all.
Opera?
No.
You should take him out to the play.
No, I thought you said that. Yeah. Going to the opera.
Yeah.
That was always one of my fantasies. Mm-hmm. Go to the opera. So take the mom to go to the opera with mom. Yeah.
Gotta go see Hamilton.
Go see
or
gospel play. I'll go with that one.
No. Even if you go see what's the stupid one? Lion King.
Yeah.
Go see that. I mean, there's a lot of goodies. Don't get it wrong.
There's always an Asian one coming out.
Yeah, there's another one coming out. There's a lot of goodies.
But in general, just like you said, because life is too short, we don't know the next day if we're gonna breathe or not. So I think for me, just spending time with mom.
That's why every day is called a prayer.
That's just that's just a gift for me. Because like I said before, I may not always be the perfect son in the world, but she always know I love her no matter what, to the thick and the thin. So I think for me, just just taking time to spend more time with moms on that part.
Anyone who ever speaks of their own perfection will have the words liar right on their head.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just crazy.
I mean, I done been fishing with my moms. I done been casinos and everything. But one particular thing I'd like to do with my mom, just like go to opera or go on a cruise with my mom. That's basically two things.
But I know, but it's like I told y'all earlier. For me, I already had for my mom. I already had what you call those quote unquote proud moments, the graduating high school, the graduating college, the having the kids. I had I'm just saying,
when I graduated, I could hear my mom
when
that's my baby.
Yeah, going, having my mom, going, winning track meets and stuff, going to CIF, see my mom being able to see me on stage, do my thing.
And for mama, because she saw me competing in competitions before.
My mom was there.
She was there for my first my second competition, and I won.
To give, so when I won CIF,
the funny thing, she didn't understand that I won, but one of my teammates told her, he won. So.
Yeah. No, I mean,
but I think just being in the moment and knowing that your mom was there to see you witness your greatness, I think that's a gift. That's a gift to me.
The coolest thing was to win a gold medal and to be there and to hand it to my mom. That's my first gold medal. Mom, that was yours.
Yeah, and she saw me take silver.
She still has.
She saw me take silver.
She still has that gold medal to this day. Take this gold medal. My first award for music that I received when I got my first trophy for music. Mom, take that one.
Yeah, her. I think my mom and my auntie was there for my competition.
So
they saw me take. They saw me take silver.
So I had those moments.
And I agree. I was just, and even though I lost that competition, but it was just great to see my mom see that.
My mom gets all gas. My mom gets gas. I know she gets all.
Get off my baby.
No, she gets gas because everybody comes to her in regards to me, like, well, your son is so good on music, and he's been doing this and he's been doing that. For her, that's her proud moment. It's not the money and all this stuff. Her moment is having other people tell her about her kids.
Yeah, that happens.
You know how that makes a proud moment, and any mom would want that. Like to hear their kids being successful. One of the proudest things. Go to an elementary school when it's award time. And see the kids who are actually getting the awards and look at the parents. And especially look at the mom. Look how excited that mom is. Even if it was just the perfect attendance award. Just look at the mom. The mom, they lose their mind. Because it's bigger than just them. It's like, my baby is doing something well.
I think
which justifies their thing of being a good friend.
One thing I think my mom really, really tore it up was I was in 3rd grade, and I remember I told you guys the story. We went on that field trip. We went to the George and Alana show, and just seeing us on TV, and then she saw it on a commercial. She blew her up.
But on the flip of the coin,
but that any parent would get excited, like you said.
But the flip of the coin was, I remember when I was in jail. 3 days in the joint. Wasn't even that long. It was just long enough to get a couple of chess games and get out on some dumb stuff. I think I told y'all the story before. No, I'm not gonna go through that. But my mom, even though she understood the circumstances, she was so mad because now she had to hear that in regards to me. Mm-hmm. After hearing all this stuff, good.
Nerd boy French really ain't that nerd.
Yeah, no, but
he got a little street cred.
Told you, Diet Coca Hood.
Turns out he's more stale than
it's more like a flat
flatness
appear.
Hold up, damn, I forgot to. I did do something real cool with my mom. We did go to the shooting range together.
Y'all was popping them.
I don't know what made my mom wanted to do this, so she's like, let's go to the shooting range. I'm like, and I thought she was BSing. I'm like,
nah,
sure? Nah, she wasn't BSing. We went up in there.
No, she was nice.
She asked me, I'm gonna shoot this. I'm like, Mom, that's too big. You might want to go to a 32. So she tried it. She liked it. Had a little kick to it. But that the typical moment for me
was nice with the stick work.
It scared me that day. Like, she told me she wanted to go to the shooting range. I'm like, Mom, what?
I'm just picturing
in there. But the funny thing is, I didn't think she was actually serious until we pulled up, and then I know when we pulled up to the destination, I'm like, okay, this is serious.
I'm just
nah, it's serious. When it's popping out the truck, you're like, look, I got some.
That's what I was expecting. I'm like, she's finna wait.
Was it like that scene from RoboCop in the shooting range?
It was It was a little bit like that.
This
is like everyone just sticking their head
out. This is like a Medea moment. Like you ain't expecting your mama to
pull up with the things and
type of day. But just in that moment was I can just say, hey, I went to the shooting range with my mom's. Just having that title alone.
Oh, I could see that.
And she's like, I'm gonna pop that. I'm like, Mom, that's too big. You can't pop that. That started you off something small. Like, okay, let me throw. We threw a 32. Then I upgraded to a 38.
She's trying to pop them things, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's one. That's something. That's something I wish God rest. My brother was here.
We ain't nothing for the podcast listener. We ain't glorifying gunplay at a shooting range. We ain't just out there just popping things just cause.
No, we just went just for
so we did it, and it was done in a safe environment.
Yeah, we're not talking about going to the California hills and shooting
right. We're talking, real deal at the range. I know that's kind of a scary thing, when brothers pull up at the range, they think something.
No, it's scary when you pull up at the rim with your mama.
Yeah, I know, because they be looking at me like, hey, she really about that?
Like,
All right, we don't leave him alone. Mom's about that thing.
Yeah, no. Like the range master like, is this we about to witness Family Feud?
Nah, because the first thing they be checking is like, y'all in the service? Nah. Y'all some officers? Nah.
Fed?
yeah, more or less. They go to the whole list of things and they be like, all right, bet. Then you got all eyes on y'all for about 5 minutes just to see what's what.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. No, first of all, that's cool. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I just cloud, but I can clearly see how that pops up.
So,
but but it's crazy. But it's crazy though. But let me a couple of days before we head out. But
we're towards the end of it now. Folks.
But one thing you said about the single moms. I know for single moms, I know it's a tough job to be just a parent in general. But just keep pushing through, keep strong with growing and developing your kid in the best way that you possibly can. I know that it's tough, but just keep pushing. Because your kid is a direct reflection of you. Just like I'm a reflection of my mom, the kids. That's why they always say that, it's people be like, well,
I know I'm a reflection of my mom. I look just like her.
No, but it goes beyond the looks. It's really the actions. And
No. I'm really a reflection, and I'll say this out loud. She can hear me. I am a reflection of my mom.
I know that. I know full-heartedly. But what I mean by it goes beyond the looks. You're not just a reflection of your mom just because of what you look like.
I know that.
You're a reflection of your mom because of your work ethic, your drive, your motivation. You're a reflection of your mom in that regard, even more so than the looks. If that makes sense.
No. It be some moments where I might I do something like, damn, I'm not just like my mama, because now I'm getting
right.
I get that same mentality like
right.
You get on my pass, so I'm finna hit you, and I'm sitting here thinking like, this is my mama. I got this from my mama.
But like I said, you're a reflection of all of that.
But I know that I get this from my mama. When I say somebody I don't like you, I will tell you I don't like you. And I know I get that from my mama.
Yeah, but but there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you do that in the right way, there's nothing wrong with that. There's gonna be a lot of people you ain't gonna like. I don't like you, what? But that doesn't mean that you don't do that in a respectful way. But that's because you want to know why I say that? Because that's the way your mom would do it. Your mom doesn't like this. F you and I don't like you. No. It's I don't like you. And if you do something wrong, we're going to have a problem.
Step outside.
Exactly. But she's doing it in the most respectful way possible. Does that make sense? You're still a reflection of your mama.
With clarity.
Exactly. But be it as it may, but for all the moms out there, much love to every single mom. Happy Mother's Day to my mom,
Mother's Day,
of course,
moms,
and to my extended mothers.
Grandmother,
not just one day, but every day.
Exactly, and don't act like Mother's Day is just a one day thing. Motherhood is all day for life, just like fatherhood is. It's the same thing. So definitely show some love to your moms whenever y'all can, not just on Mother's Day, but anytime that y'all have a moment.
Always.
I mean, you gotta kind of check your affections, man. If you only delegate it to a single day out of the year.
If you only delegate it just to Mother's Day, that means you don't love your mama.
Yeah. Because then it's not love, it's obligation.
Yes, you're just doing it. It's just like Easter. You treat Mother's Day like Easter. You just do it once a year.
I'm finna sing it. Always love my mama. She's my favorite girl. Oh, you know that song.
This boy trying to spin around or do the whole little temptation spin and
He's been on an oldies kick.
Yeah, he's been like that. If he just saw the,
I get that from my.
I can't put the pregame on because we can't have the copyright strike on the page. But we was running some oldies earlier though.
Final thoughts.
But go ahead, get your final ones.
Final thought for me is time is too short, and as we reflecting in this world, we got to give thanks to the little things. So I think for me, my positive message is regardless of relationship you have with your mom, whether it's for the greater the good or could be worse. You know, just take the time out to say, you know, hey, Ma, at the end of the day, I know me and you go through our differences, but just take the time to say, hey, Ma, I respect you and I love you and I appreciate everything you done for me from the thick and the thin, from the smiles and cries to the ups and downs, and the regardless, you know, anything you went through in life. You know, I know life for you wasn't easy, and you know, at the end of the day, you are a damn good person, and a damn good mother, and a damn good soul, and you know, respect. It takes respect to get respect, and you know, a lot of mothers don't get that respect wise because you know, a lot of people don't give them that respect because you know, just like yo, this is just a regular person. No, it's not like that. Mothers deserve more credit than the average person, and I say that with content. So, for all you single mothers or mothers out there, and just good mothers in general, this is y'all day, and much love to respect to all the hardworking mothers who's keeping grinding, keeping pushing. Much love and respect, and happy Mother's Day.
There you go.
Well, like we talked about today, hopefully you love your mother every day. You know, those listening and those that are mothers, I hope your children love you as they should. You know, and for mothers out there, both in a relationship or single, I do hope. What?
I'm sorry. It's one thing I do want to see my mom do is she doesn't because she's afraid of heights and go on a roller coaster.
Oh, on a roller coaster? Okay, I can see that.
She did come to her fears. She did fly in an airplane because my mother hates heights for shit. So we mean how
what's so scary about a roller? You're strapped in.
But
that ain't.
I never forget the story. Me and my brother, we took her to Knott's Bay Farm and she got on a little kiddie ride, but didn't know it was gonna go all the way in the air. Oh, she cussed me and my brother out so bad, but it was worth it. But I just didn't want to see my mother get on the roller coaster. But go ahead,
I know
man.
better.
Anyway.
I know better than that.
Anyway, for all the mothers out there, both in a relationship or single, I hope you are. You know, I hope you are. I hope you're respected by your children. I hope your children love you as they should. You know, and I hope you're the mother you know you're supposed to be. You know, I hope, you know, may the Lord preserve you for another day, for another year, especially when you make it to Mother's Day. That's a whole year. Again, you've been here. And I do hope that, as all people should, you have the fear of the Lord in your heart. As He says, you know, seek the kingdom first, and all things shall follow. All things shall follow. Seek the Lord first, and all things will be received. Now, that does not mean it'll be easy. That's a common misconception. Hardship is inevitable, no matter what, believer or non-believer. It's just that the believer will make it through it stronger, and the unbeliever will come out weaker. You know, so at the end of the day, I do hope that you have a living faith in your heart, and that you let the Holy Spirit work in you and in your mind. Let Him strengthen you, let Him guide you. Let the Lord perfect you for His purposes. And I guarantee you, letting the Lord work in you, He will also work in your children. For children will reflect their parents. And Lord willing, godly parents will bring forth godly children. So, at the end of the day, both, you know, give thanks to mothers for doing the tasks that, you know, the only they can do. You know, only women can do, and that's become mothers. And we thank them for that. Because, I mean, brothers, we wouldn't be here without our mothers. You know. But at the end of the day, make sure the Lord is at the top of your list, the apex of your affections, above yourselves, even above your children, and all good things will follow. It's a guarantee. The Lord promised it Himself. Anyway, that's all I really got to say.
I gotta hurry up and get you a church, man. I'm gonna get you a church.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get this congregation big, man.
Let me say this real fast. I think it's important before we sign off. Don't let this generation tell you that motherhood is not respected.
Say that louder.
Talking to the mic.
One more time for the people.
Yeah.
One more time for the
Say that louder.
One more time.
Say it loud!
Oh, don't do that, because you know what I'm gonna say next. It's automatic.
I know. Go for it.
Don't let this generation tell you that motherhood is not respected. I know you're in a generation that tells you, well, I don't want to be a parent. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. because motherhood all of a sudden is not respected. In the right confines, believe it or not, what a lot of women would strive to be, believe it or not, is mothers. But don't let the generation, don't let the TikTok and Instagram fool you to tell you otherwise. Because that's what they're pitching to you. They're pitching to you, well, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to be. No. Motherhood always has and always will be respected. Now, ideally, yes, you want to do it in the confines of marriage, of course. But motherhood will always be respected. Having your lineage of kids will always be respected. And the love that you will get from your son or daughter to you will be pretty undeniable. The only other thing that will be greater than that is the love for God that has for you. But don't let social media warp your mind in that regard. If you're a parent already and you hear all this stuff, you just be the example of why, being a parent is respected and highly respected. Outside of that,
I mean, just generally speaking, just be very careful what you consume, because everything you consume has influence on you, whether it's subtle or not. So, you want to guard your eyes, guard your ears, and above all, guard your heart.
facts. That's a fact.
And to all you baby daddies out there, if you really have a good relationship with your baby mama, take your time out and just say, hey,
And that was gonna be my
happy
thing.
Mother's Day to you.
And that was gonna be my thing. On the flip of the coin, show your mom some love first and foremost. If you are connected with somebody,
Keep them 100 on that.
if you're connected, if you're connected with somebody who is the mother of your kids, you do go out there and
I'm just
at least
thinking,
show
like,
them.
I can picture some dude out there talking to his wife. You should be thanking me. I'm the only reason you can have this day.
There's some people.
Yeah, there's some times I think about that, but that's another topic, dog.
That is true.
You ain't lying on there. You're not lying.
I just didn't want to take that conversation that way, because that conversation would have went.
That's another 2 hours, dude.
Yeah, that conversation would have went south real fast.
We ain't got enough time for that.
I know, but besides that, y'all,
That was a good one.
But besides that, tell your mamas Happy Mother's Day on my behalf, of course, because y'all, your mamas is mom, y'all, that's my extended mamas as well.
Truly, thank your mothers, because without them, you wouldn't be able to hear us.
That's a fact. But outside of that, to all the mothers out there, have a great Mother's Day from us as the PVC Podcast Crew. Besides all of that, before we head out, let me go in and do a couple of housekeeping things. First and foremost, thank you for all the subscribers who's been rocking along with us, and for all the viewers who's been watching along. We definitely appreciate y'all. Secondly, again, shout out to our sponsor, Factor 75, who's sponsoring this as well. Go ahead and reach out. Go ahead and reach out to factor.com for anything in regards to like food, meal prep, anything in that regard. Tell them the PVC Podcast Crew sent you. It'll be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Factory 75, for sponsoring us.
And if you did not like and subscribe to the page at this point in time, you should have done that about an hour ago. But
we're gonna have to come outside your door.
But please do. Please like and subscribe to the page. That's the only way we're going to continue to grow and do what we do. But besides that, y'all, this has been episode 53. Sorry, I keep saying 52, but it is 53. Laying pipe with the PVC crew. For my man Paul, for my man Vic. My name is Cam, a.k.a. Mr. Nerd Boy Fresh. And like always, it is God above everything. Till the next time, family, we will do this again soon.
Much love and respect.
Salute.